Imagine it's 1987. You're a 31-year-old factory worker in Detroit named James. You just got a raise, your first in 3 years, $4.20 an hour more. You feel it. After years of watching every dollar, you finally have room to breathe. So you do what every person around you does when they finally have room. You buy things. A new television, a used Camaro you finance at 18% interest, a whole life insurance policy your cousin sells you over dinner, name brand everything at the grocery store because you can finally afford not to buy the generic, a futon for the spare room, a gym membership you'll use seriously this time, an extended warranty on everything because you worked too hard to risk losing it. By 1992, the plant closes. James has $400 in savings. His neighbor Marcus worked the same line, earned the same wages, got the same raise. Marcus has $14,000 in savings, owns his car outright, and has no consumer debt. The difference between James and Marcus was not income. It was not intelligence. It was not luck. It was 12 decisions, repeated across 5 years, that look identical from the outside but function completely differently on a balance sheet. James was buying things that felt like stability. Marcus was buying things that were stability. Once you understand the difference, you will see it everywhere. In your own spending and the spending of people around you. In the entire architecture of modern consumer culture that has been specifically designed to make these two categories indistinguishable. Let's go through the 12, not as judgment, but as autopsy. Because James didn't fail. The system worked on James exactly as it was designed to work. Number 1, the new car purchased on credit. In 1987, the average new car cost roughly $12,000. The average 48-month loan at standard rates meant James paid approximately $5,800 total for a vehicle worth $9,000 by the time he made his final payment. That's a $6,800 loss on a purchase he was told built equity. The moment a new vehicle leaves the dealership lot, it loses between 9 and 11% of its value. Within 5 years, that vehicle retains approximately 40% of its original price. Meanwhile, the loan doesn't depreciate. The loan is fixed. The asset shrinks while the liability holds. Add insurance, registration, fuel, maintenance, and the average cost of ownership for a financed new vehicle exceeds $10,000 per year for transportation. For a service you could obtain through a reliable used vehicle at a fraction of the cost. The new car is not an asset. It has never been an asset. It is a consumption decision structured to feel like a financial decision because it involves a large number and a monthly payment. Monthly payments feel like investment. They are not. They are the mechanism through which manufacturers, lenders, and insurers extract maximum value from the gap between what a vehicle is worth and what a buyer is willing to believe it is worth. Number 2, whole life insurance sold as investment. James's cousin was not a bad person. He genuinely believed he was selling James something valuable. The pitch was coherent. Pay premiums. Build cash value. Leave something for your family. One product, multiple purposes. Here is what the pitch omitted. The average whole life policy returns between 1 and 3% annually on its cash value component, below inflation in most decades. The same premium dollars invested in a simple broad market index fund would have returned 7 to 10% historically. The compounding difference over 30 years is not marginal. It is generational. $150 monthly whole life premium over 30 years builds approximately $80,000 in cash value. The same $150 invested independently at historical averages reaches $170,000. The $90,000 difference didn't disappear. It moved from James to the insurance company paying for agent commissions, company overhead, marketing, and shareholder returns. James wasn't building wealth. He was funding someone else's wealth building while believing they were the same activity. Number 3, extended warranties on everything. The extended warranty industry generates over $40 billion annually in the United States. These products are sold at the register on nearly every significant consumer purchase. The pitch is simple: protection, peace of mind, responsible ownership. The mathematics are also simple. Warranty providers pay out approximately 20 cents for every dollar collected. The remaining 80 cents covers administration, marketing, and profit. For every $100 James spent on extended warranties across 5 years, on the television, the appliances, the tools, he received approximately $20 in actual repair or replacement value. The expected value is deeply mathematically negative. This is not secret information. It is published in industry analyses available to anyone who looks. The warranty is not sold because it protects you. It is sold because it generates 80 cents of profit per dollar at the exact moment when you are most psychologically vulnerable. Just after spending a large amount of money and feeling acute loss aversion about the purchase you just made, the system is designed to monetize your anxiety at maximum efficiency. Number 4, brand premiums at the grocery store. Name brand products typically cost 20 to 100% more than store brand equivalents. In many categories, over-the-counter medications, basic food staples, cleaning products, household supplies, Independent testing organizations consistently find that store brands match or exceed the quality of national brands. The premium you pay for the national brand is not a quality premium. It is a familiarity premium. It is the accumulated cost of every advertisement that made you recognize the package. You are paying for your own conditioning. A family that switches to store brands across all applicable categories saves $2,500 to $2,500 annually. That is not theoretical money. That is real money that currently flows from household budgets to marketing departments in exchange for a logo on packaging. James chose name brands because name brands felt like quality, and quality felt like self-respect. This is exactly what the marketing was designed to make him feel. The system worked perfectly. Number 5, lottery tickets and gambling as financial strategy. The lottery is a tax on statistical illiteracy. The expected return on a lottery ticket is approximately 50 cents per dollar spent. Worse than any casino game, worse than any financial product, worse than holding cash. For James, spending $20 per week on lottery tickets meant spending $1,040 per year on a product with a negative expected return of approximately $520 annually. Over 5 years, that is $5,200 spent to receive approximately $2,600 in winnings. The gap to $600 moved from James to government lottery programs. This is not a judgment on hope. Hope has value. But lotteries are specifically structured to extract money from people who feel that conventional wealth-building paths are closed to them. The people who design lottery systems understand that their most reliable customers are people for whom the lottery feels like the only plausible path to financial transformation. The system converts economic desperation into revenue with mathematical precision. Stop here for a moment. At this point, James has already lost over $23,000 without missing a single bill payment or gambling recklessly. Every decision felt reasonable. The car necessary, insurance responsible, warranties cautious, name brands quality, and the lottery hope. None of it felt like destruction. The total wasn't visible until it was gone. We're only halfway through the list, and the next 7 get worse. The next 3 are not separate traps. They are one trap wearing 3 different masks. Rent-to-own furniture, payday loans, and electronics upgrades look completely different on the surface. Different stores, products, and salespeople. But underneath, they run the same mechanism. They target the gap between what you need right now and what you can pay right now. They extract maximum value from that gap. Same trap, different packaging. Once you see it in one, you'll see it in all 3. Number 6, rent-to-own furniture and appliances. These stores exist in lower income neighborhoods and almost nowhere else. The model is straightforward. You can't afford the full price, so you pay a small weekly or monthly amount, eventually owning the item. The mathematics of this model are extraordinary in their extraction efficiency. A $400 TV costs $200 to $600 over the contract. That's 3 to 4 times the retail price for the same product. The effective annual interest rate routinely exceeds 100%. This is legal because rent-to-own is structured as a rental agreement, not a loan, falling outside consumer credit regulations. The people using these services aren't foolish. They are people for whom $400 isn't available as a single payment. For them, the rent-to-own store is the only available path. The system targets this precise financial vulnerability. It exploits the gap between what you need and what you can pay at once, extracting maximum value. Number 7, payday loans for recurring expenses. The average payday loan carries an annual percentage rate of approximately 400%. This is not a misprint. $15 per $100 borrowed for 2 weeks, annualized, equals 391%. A person borrowing $300, rolling it over 3 times, pays $135 in fees on a $300 principal in 4 weeks. This is the mechanism, not the borrowing, which is sometimes necessary. The fee structure converts a short-term cash flow problem into a long-term debt spiral. James used payday loans twice in 1990 when his factory check was short, paying $90 in fees on $400 principal. Marcus had $2,000 in savings and paid no fees. The difference wasn't that Marcus was richer. It was that Marcus maintained a buffer, costing him the opportunity to spend that $2,000 on something else. That invisible discipline, maintaining liquidity to avoid the cost of illiquidity, is the structural difference between James and Marcus. Number 8, subscription services never canceled. Behavioral economists have extensively studied their psychology. Consumers dramatically overestimate how much they'll use services and underestimate how often they'll forget they're paying. Industry data shows a substantial percentage of subscribers have at least one active subscription they rarely or never use. The friction of cancellation, finding the account, navigating the process, guilt-inducing retention offers, exceeds the inertia of monthly charges. This is not accidental. Every element of the subscription interface is designed with this psychology in mind. The free trial requires a credit card. Cancellation requires multiple steps. The retention offer creates doubt. James subscribed to a book club in 1988. He received books for 3 years he never read because canceling felt like more effort than the monthly charge warranted. Over 3 years, he paid $648 for books he didn't want. The book club made $648 from his inertia. This is the subscription model's core business logic, refined over 40 years into a science of extraction. Number 9, consumer electronics on the upgrade cycle. Manufacturers want to convince you last year's device is inadequate. This interest is not hidden. It's the foundation of the industry's revenue model. Planned obsolescence was first articulated by Alfred Sloan at GM in the 1920s. Annual model changes, primarily cosmetic, convinced buyers to replace functional vehicles. The strategy transferred to electronics, clothing, and every consumer category. For James, upgrading his TV in '89, stereo in '90, and gaming system in '91, spending $800 on each, meant $2,400 on devices that still worked. The old devices didn't fail. They were replaced because new models created dissatisfaction with existing ones. The dissatisfaction was manufactured. The $2,400 was real. Number 10, fast food as a primary eating strategy. This is complicated by genuine time constraints. James worked long shifts. Cooking required time he didn't always have. Fast food was fast, affordable, and convenient. The problem is the math. In 1987, James' habit of eating fast food 5 times per week represented approximately $3,000 annually, compared to roughly $800 for equivalent home-cooked meals. The $200 gap multiplied across 5 years is $11,000. That is not a small number. It's approximately the amount Marcus had saved by 1992 when the plant closed. Fast food prices have increased approximately 55% since 2019. A combo meal now costs between $10 and $15. The value proposition has collapsed entirely. You're paying near restaurant prices for food engineered for cost minimization, not your nutritional benefit. The convenience is real. The cost is also real, and most people never add it up. Number 11, furniture and home goods on installment. James furnished his apartment on installment plans from local furniture stores. Total purchase price, approximately $4,000, paid over 36 months at effective interest rates that added approximately $900 to the total cost. By 1992, the furniture was worth approximately $400 at resale. He had paid $4,900 for assets now worth $400. The $4,500 difference represents furniture depreciation plus interest. This is not unusual. It's the standard outcome of furnishing a home with new retail goods on credit. The furniture store's business model depends on this mathematics. The installment plan makes the purchase accessible. The depreciation curve and interest charges ensure maximum extraction from the transaction. You feel like you're building a home. You're building someone else's revenue stream. Number 12, the lifestyle inflation response to every raise. This is the meta pattern that governs all 11 categories above. Every time James received additional income, a raise, a bonus, overtime pay, he immediately expanded his consumption to match the new income level. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's perhaps the most powerful wealth destruction mechanism in consumer economies. It operates automatically, without conscious decision, driven entirely by the normalization of consumption patterns. Marcus received the same raises. Marcus's consumption remained constant. Every additional dollar of income went to savings and debt reduction. After 5 years of identical income and raises, Marcus had transformed his financial position. James had transformed his lifestyle. By 1992, when the plant closed, Marcus had options. He had savings to cover 6 months of expenses. He had no consumer debt. He had the ability to retrain, relocate, and wait for the right opportunity. James had a nicer apartment, a newer car, and $400. The system did not fail James. The system worked on James with precision. Every purchase he made was encouraged by advertising, normalized by peers, facilitated by credit, and designed to extract maximum value, while delivering the psychological experience of progress. He felt like he was building a life. He was funding an economy built on the gap between feeling wealthy and being wealthy. Marcus was not smarter than James. Marcus had somewhere been shown the balance sheet. He understood that the question was not how something felt to buy, but what it looked like on a ledger across 5 years. Marcus didn't earn more. Marcus didn't sacrifice more. Marcus simply never let his spending catch up to his income. That gap between what you earn and what you spend is the only number that actually matters. Everything else is noise. The ledger always balances. The question is only which side you're standing on when it does. This is historical and educational analysis. It is not financial advice. The patterns described are documented in behavioral economics research, consumer finance studies, and the financial histories of millions of households across decades. What you do with this information is entirely your decision. This channel exists because the pattern is learnable before the cost is paid. Most people learn it after. You don't have to be most people. If that way of thinking is useful to you, you know what to do.